So good day everyone. Welcome to Entrepreneurship or ENT122. So for today, we will now continue our discussion with the module number 11 entitled Managing the Operations Functions. So to give you an overview about this module, operations management is a component of management that deals with planning, implementing, and monitoring the process of producing goods and services. The task of an operations manager is to oversee the resources available to the enterprise for production activities. So basically, for this module, ang pagtutuunan na natin ng pansin is tungkol naman na sa operation ng isang business or sa operation ng isang firm. So, when we say operation, ito na yung actual na pag-ooperate ng isang business, okay, sa lahat ng aspects, lalo na kung halimbawa ang isang firm ay isang manufacturing company, ayan, nandoon makikita natin yung mga processes, okay, kung paano nga ba ino-operate or paano pinatatakbo ang isang firm or yung isang business. So first, we have this assessing the performance of a business enterprise. Since a significantly component of operations management of a business enterprise involves the process of production, the success of a firm is assessed based on its performance. So on this topic, ang inaalam natin dito, or nagkakaroon tayo ng assessment tungkol sa performance ng isang business enterprise, okay? Tina-assess natin, kumbaga parang sum of checking or evaluating kung nagiging effective or efficient ba ang isang firm. So, paano nga ba? Una is yung tinatawag natin na performance effectiveness. Okay? Yan yung first level in evaluating the performance of a business. Una is tinitingnan natin is yung performance effectiveness. So, effectiveness indicates how the output of the firm was able to achieve the objectives set by the business enterprise. So, dito yan, mini-measure daw natin yung effectiveness ng isang business kung na-achieve daw ba yung mga output na or yung objectives ng isang firm. Okay? Syempre, once na na-achieve ang objective ng isang firm, syempre, nagiging effective siya. Kasi nga, na-achieve niya yung mga objectives na sineset niya. Okay? And then, the other one is the performance efficiency. The concept of efficiency denotes how the output of the firm was realized using resources. It is a relative concept since the production performance is evaluated in terms of cost incurred. If the objective of the company is to maximize the profit, it must be efficient in the use of its resources. Thus, not all products and services that are assessed to be effective are also efficient. So, ibig sabihin naman dito sa performance efficiency, ang tinitingnan naman natin dito, ang nagiging basis naman natin dito, kung nagiging efficient daw ba ang isang firm or ang isang company, is through the cost na ginagastos ng isang firm or kung na-maximize ba ang profit. Okay? For example, meron kang allotted budget for a particular project or for a particular activity and na-maximize mo iyon. Okay? Or marami kang na-i-produce using that budget. So, ibig sabihin, at the same time na achieve mo ang objective mo, it means na nagkakaroon ng performance efficiency. Okay? Pero kung halimbawang hindi naging enough yun, so hindi naging efficient ang performance ng isang firm or ng isang company. Now, let's proceed with the framework for analyzing the operations of an enterprise. So, ano-ano ba itong mga sinasabing framework na ito? So, we have two. First is the systems approach, input, process, output. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na IPO framework. So, yung IPO stands for input, process, and output. So, in this approach, arrangement of relationships between inputs and outputs there are three major components in this production relationship: inputs, process, and outputs. So isa-isahin natin iyon. Unahin na natin yung input. So we have 5 resource inputs. So yung tinatawag natin na 5 M's. First is the materials. So semi-processed goods that will be subjected to further transformation in the production process. So for the materials, basically ito yung mga raw materials sa kinakailangan sa pag-produce ng isang product. For example, ang isang manufacturing company, okay? Ang gumagawa nito, kunwari, ang manufacturing company na pinili natin, kunwari, Gardenia. Yan. So, for the raw materials or for the materials, ano nga ba yung mga ingredients na sa paggawa ng tinapay? So, basically, yun yung tinatawag natin na materials. Okay? And then, next letter M is the manpower. So, it refers to the human resource input used in the production process. So, basically, yung mga tao na involved sa paggawa or sa process sa pag-create ng product, yun yung tinatawag na manpower. And then next is the machinery. All man-made physical capital used in the production process. So, machinery, as simple as machines. Machines na involved sa pag-create noong product. And then, next letter M is the method. Process of combining raw materials and how these are going to be transformed using the other factor inputs of production. So, method, basically, it refers to the process. So, yung process na mismo ng paggawa noong tinapay. Based sa example natin kanina, di ba? So, yun yung method. Paano ba ginagawa yon? Okay? May yung sa may part na may machine ang gumagawa, may part na tao ang gumagawa. So, basically, yung process of transforming the raw materials to final output, yun po ang tinatawag nating method. And then lastly is the money. Financial resource used to purchase all the resources needed by the firm for its operation. So, basically, hindi naman tatakbo ang isang firm ng walang pera. Diba? Para nga makapag-start up ka ng isang business, you need capital. So, yan po, when we say money, it is the financial resource. Yan ang pinakakailangan, yan ang magpapatakbo for the business. So, we have two major categories of resource inputs. First is the intermediate inputs. So, it refers to the semi-processed materials that need further transformation to produce a finished product. So, in short, when we say intermediate inputs, it refers to the raw materials. Okay? Lahat ng raw materials sa kailangan for the production or for creating a particular product, yun po yung tinatawag natin na intermediate inputs. Then the other one is the factor inputs. When we say factor inputs, it refers to transforming inputs that will process the intermediate inputs into finished products. So, sabi, when we say factor inputs, ito daw tumutukoy doon sa manpower, machinery, and method. Kanina, di ba sa part ng resource inputs, yung 5 M's ay itong tatlo, yung manpower, machinery, and method. So basically, itong manpower, machinery, and method, sabi, yan nga daw ang ginagamit to transform those intermediate inputs para ma-process sila at maging finished products. So basically, itong factor inputs ang magpa-process doon sa mga intermediate inputs, which is the raw materials, para maging finished products. So again, that is the two major categories of resource inputs. Now, let's proceed with the letter P, or the process for the systems approach. So process refers to the various forms of transformation that factor inputs perform on the materials. The process is determined by the type of commodity to be produced and technology being used in production. So basically, kung literal lang siya na process, ito yung mismong actual na process ng pag-create or yung pag-transform ng intermediate inputs using the factor inputs para ang raw materials ay maging final output or maging finished product na. na natin. Okay? So, yun po yung process. So, we have different forms of transformation. So, it includes the following. First is the physical transformation. So, processing of raw materials converts them into significantly altered new product. So, when you say physical transformation, ito, nagkaroon na ng physical transformation or nagkaroon na ng malaking pagbabago from the yung itsura ng ng raw materials hanggang sa naging finished product na siya. Okay? 'Di ba sabi nga natin kanina, in example natin is yung paggawa ng tinapay, yan. So, basically ang raw materials diyan kailangan ng harina, ng itlog at ng iba pa. So, basically after the process, okay, pag nagamitan na ng factor inputs, yan, at dumaan na sa process, nagkakaroon na ng physical transformation. So, yung raw materials, combine na din, naging iba na yung itsura noong raw materials. Okay, so yun yung tinatag natin na physical transformation. Nagkaroon na ng pagbabago in terms of the physical aspects of the materials. Next is the locational transformation. So, product changes its location through various means of transportation and communication. So, dito naman sa locational transformation, nagkakaroon daw ng change of location through various means of transportation and of communication. So, basically, ito yung parang sabihin natin dinideliver or nakakarating sa'yo, okay? Or maaari naman ito parang means of parang nasa transportation sector or ganong transport business, o kaya naman telecommunication, like we have the internet, di ba? Nasa-servicean tayong lahat ng internet by delivering their internet by providing us a internet service. Okay? So that is locational transformation. Next is the information transformation. So knowledge and specialized skills of providers are transmitted to their customer. So basically itong learning process ninyo, itong knowledge na binibigay sa inyo ng mga teachers ninyo. So nagkakaroon kayo ng information transformation. After ng discussion, after kayong turuan, yun yung tinatawag natin na learning process. Then after that, you learn something from your teachers. So that is what we call information transformation. Naka-gain kayo ng knowledge from a particular topic. Okay? So yun po yung information transformation. Next is exchange transformation. So commodity is transmitted. Exchange transformation. Commodity is transmitted from the supplier to its buyer. So, yan, from the term exchange, yan, nagkakaroon ng palitan. As simple as trade yan. O kaya naman, yung simple as pagbili natin, nagkakaroon ng exchange transformation. Di ba? When we buy something, we get the item in exchange of money. So, merong exchange transformation. Then lastly is the extractive transformation. So when we say extractive transformation, natural resource taken out from its habitat. So from the term extract, ayan, we are extracting something from a particular resources. So that is what we call extractive transformation. Now, let's proceed with the letter O, which is the output in the IPO framework. So it refers to the result of the production process. Okay? And then output can be processed goods or services and are influenced by the process of transformation. So basically dito sa output, eto na yung pinaka finished product natin. Okay? Yung kung kanina in example nga natin, 'di ba? Sabi natin tayo kunwari isang manufacturing company na gumagawa ng tinapay. For example nga, gardenia, yan. So, ang pinaka-output na natin is yung mismong tinapay na. Okay? So, yun na nga daw yung result ng production process. Okay? So, we have this different type of production outputs. So, based doon kanina sa different forms of transformation. Ito naman na ngayon, yung production, types of production output. So kung kanina based doon sa physical transformation, ito daw yung mga outputs from physical transformation. First is the manufactured goods. So yun yung example nun. Yan. Anything na manufactured items like yun nga, kanina tinapay, ano pa ba yung mga manufactured goods. Basically kapag manufactured goods, karamihan dyan ang mga pagkain. Okay? Ano pa ba ang mga dumadaan sa sa manufacturing process, yung yung mga ganitong laptop, computer, cellphone, yan dumadaan yan sa manufacturing, even cars, yan basta anything na dumaan sa manufacturing process, yun yung mga outputs from physical transformation. So example naman daw ng outputs from locational transformation is the telecommunication services. Like yung mga service ng telecoms. Okay? Yung like internet, sabi ko nga kanina, 'di ba? Then the other one is yung sa services ng mga network for the call and text. Okay? So yan din ang example ng locational transformation. And then next one is outputs from information transformation. So example nga daw nito is yung professional services. So yan na nga yung mga nasa teaching profession yan. So basically nagkakaroon yan ng information transformation, and then after the learning process meron kayong na gather na information. So yun yung outputs from information transformation. Next naman is outputs from exchange transformation. Example nga daw nito ay yung mga retail services of sari-sari stores, groceries, supermarkets, and department store. And wholesale services of large distribution outlets. Diba? Sabi ko nga kanina, as simple as yung pagbili lang natin. Diba? Yun nga yung example noon. And then lastly is the outputs from extractive transformation. So products derived from natural resources. Diba? Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, diba? Yung we are extracting something from a particular resource. Okay? So next naman, now we will proceed with the second approach, which is the value chain approach. So this type of approach traces the value of commodity in terms on how factor inputs are adding value to the raw materials. Thus, the value of commodity is represented by the value of raw materials and the value added from factor inputs like labor, capital, land, and technology that were used to transform these raw materials into the final output. So basically dito sa value chain approach, ayan, ang tinitingnan naman natin dito is yung value noong mga input materials na nilalagay natin sa pag-create ng isang product. Okay? So sa yung value ng raw materials, value ng intermediate inputs, plus the value of factor inputs. So all in all, pag pinagsama-sama natin yun yung mga factors, okay, na nag-a-add ng value doon sa magiging finished product natin. And with that, yun, kumbaga, lahat ng cost from that, yun yung ilalagay natin para makapag-contribute or makapag-come up tayo with the final value or yung pinaka-final pricing ng finished product natin. Okay? So, by seeing the value of those inputs, yun yung magiging basis natin sa paglalagay natin ng value for our final output. And now, we will proceed with the measures of productivity. So, productivity is a concept of measuring output relative to the value of inputs used in production. Since output can be measured in terms of volume of output and its monetary value, and inputs can also be measured in physical units and monetary values, the firm's productivity can be calculated. A firm which is considered productive can produce more output of more output per unit of input. So basically, ayan, meron tayong different measures kung paano nga ba natin ma-measure yung isang productivity ng isang firm or ng isang business. Okay? So we have here the following are some measures of partial productivity. So we have this average productivity of labor, average productivity of capital, marginal productivity of labor, and then marginal productivity of capital. So yung mga yan daw ang nagiging measures natin kung nagiging productive nga ba ang isang business or ang isang firm. So, apat po iyan. We have the average productivity of labor and capital, and then marginal productivity of labor and capital. So, a firm that exhibits a low cost of production is also a firm with high productivity. Since the cost of production per unit is lower, the firm can produce more output given its resources. Some measures of cost are the following. So average cost, which is the total cost of production per unit of output, and then the marginal cost, additional cost of production per additional unit of production. So basically, yan, sabi nga, pag low cost of production, mataas din ang productivity. Yung kumbaga, in short, mababa nga yung gastos mo, and then at the same time, marami kang naging na-produce na output. So, you are being now productive. Okay? Now, let's proceed with the ways of improving firm's productivity. So, paano nga ba mai-improve ang productivity ng isang firm or ng isang business? So, first, we have this increasing output per unit of input. So, this can be done by employing factor inputs that are output enhancing. For example, hiring skilled and educated laborers can improve labor productivity. In addition, the existing capital stock of the firm becomes more productive as skilled and productive workers utilize it. So, basically dito sa increasing output per unit, ayan, para daw tumaas yung output ng isang firm, kailangan daw mag-hire ng skilled and educated laborers. So, by doing this, yan, i-improve nga daw yung labor productivity. Siyempre, kapag ang na-hire parang well-educated and then high-skilled, skilled na yung na-hire na employee or na laborer, mas maiksi na yung training period, and at the same time madali nang makaka-cope up with the process, madali niya nang matututunan, and at the same time mas magiging productive na ang laborer with that. Okay? Lalo na kapag skilled, okay? Mas alam niya na yung magiging process kasi kapag skilled na ang isang laborer. Okay? So, yun nga daw yung isang paraan para mapataas ang output, okay? By hiring skilled and educated laborers. And then, similarly, the productivity of capital is enhanced when a firm invests in modern capital equipment. With improved technology, workers become more productive when utilizing modern equipment. So basically dito naman, another way naman to increase the output per unit of input, ang isang paraan pa nga daw is yung pag-acquire ng mga equipments na ginagamit, okay? Na ginagamit for the process of creating final output. Okay? So, yun po yung dalawang paraan. Next naman is reduce the cost of production. Okay? So, firms should be flexible in using production techniques that are sensitive to the price of factor inputs. For example, if the labor is cheap and capital is expensive, the firm may adopt labor-intensive techniques to save on production cost. Okay? So, basically, dito naman, pagbabawas naman ng gastusin. Lalo na sa process. Okay? nung pag-create ng product. So, maaaring iyan kapag mababa nga daw ang pasahod and then mataas yung capital or masyadong malaki ang kailangan for the capital, ayan. So, kailangan daw mag-adapt ng labor-intensive techniques para makasave pagdating sa production cost. Okay? So, basically, isa rin to sa para mapababa yung cost of production. So, with that, yun yung magiging, isa rin yun para mapa-improve yung productivity ng isang firm. Okay? Pababain yung gastos. And then the third one is improve through motivation. So, managers and supervisors with excellent people skills can motivate their workers to excel, enjoy their work, and contribute positively to the goals of the firm. With no change factor inputs and no change in production cost, production increases of the positive disposition of laborers in the workplace. So, dito naman, improved through motivation. So, basically, walang kailangang gastusin ng isang firm para mapataas ang kanilang productivity or yung kanilang magiging output. So, ano bang ginagawa dito? So, through the managers and supervisors, kailangan lang ma-motivate ang kanilang mga employee, ang kanilang mga laborers, yung mga tao nila. Okay? So, sa paanong paraan nga ba nila kailangan i-motivate? Okay? First, syempre, by having a happy and healthy environment. Ano ba kapag sinabi natin healthy environment? Ibig sabihin, maganda ang relationship noong mga tao within the organization. Okay? So, with that, syempre, gaganahan kang magtrabaho. Unlike kapag halimbawa mga kasama mo sa trabaho, parang puro toxic, ganyan. Tapos, hindi na maganda yung samahan ng mga kasama mo sa trabaho, hindi ka nagaganahang magtrabaho, di ba? Unlike kapag healthy at maganda ang relationship ng mga kasama mo sa trabaho, di ba? And then laging may appreciation sa work mo, 'di ba? Mas lalo kang gaganahang trabaho. And then with that, magiging productive ka syempre, 'di ba? So, yun po yung isang paraan or yun yung isang measure or ways to improve the firm's productivity, which is to improve through motivation. Okay? Then next is we have here the balance scorecard, a way of reckoning effectiveness. A firm's performance effectiveness has been indicated by its output and objectives the firms want to achieve. However, Kaplan and Norton propose a balanced scorecard in assessing the performance of the firm. The scorecard reflects not only the output of the firm but also the interest of its various stakeholders. So later on, malalaman natin ano ba ito? Ano ba itong balance scorecard na ito? So sinasabi nga na ito nga daw balance scorecard na to, isa rin to sa way na para ma-measure yung effectiveness ng isang firm. Okay? So ano ba ito? Ayan. The assumption in the balance scorecard is to consider the variety of interest that the firm pursues besides the production of an output to earn profit for the owners of the enterprise as reflected in the financial reports. So, basically, merong mga interested parties pagdating sa pag-measure ng effectiveness ng isang firm or ng isang business. Una na nga dito, ayan, to understand the components of scorecard, let us enumerate some of the stakeholders of a firms and their corresponding interests. Pagdating sa isang firm yan. Sino-sino ba ito? Una daw is yung mga shareholders. Aside from a reasonable rate return to their investments in the firm, owners of the enterprise are interested in continuity, stability, and growth of the firm. Siyempre, sino ba namang may-ari or sino ba namang shareholder ang gustong magsara at malugi ang isang business, diba? So, main goal nila or yung gusto nilang mangyari sa isang firm, syempre, magtuloy-tuloy ito at mag-grow, diba? As a firm. And then next naman ay yung managers. So, managers as administrators of the resources of the firm, operating officers, managers, and supervisors may want to control in decision making. flexibility in managing risk affecting the business enterprise, and adequate compensation. So basically, si managers, sila yung mga nag-administer na may part sila pagdating sa decision making, lalo na sa in terms of operations ng isang firm. Ayan. And then next naman is yung workers. So adequate compensation, good working environment, and protection of labor rights are the main concerns of workers. So workers yan, ang pinaka-interest nila dito, syempre, yung pasahod sa kanila. And then good working environment. Plus, protection of labor rights. So yun yung interest nila sa isang firm. And then, next is the customers. Aside from value of the money, customers are concerned about the reliability, consistency, and quality of goods and services. So, basically, yun talaga ang pinaka-concern ng customers sa isang firm, yung quality ng goods, di ba? Siyempre, hindi naman natin ipapatronize yung isang firm na hindi maganda ang quality, di ba? So, hinahanap lagi natin yung nakakapagbigay sa atin ng products na mayroong magandang quality. Then the government, aside from the taxes, the government is interested on how the firm can generate and provide employment to growing labor force. So, basically, bukod nga daw sa tax, hindi lang naman tax ang hinahabol ng government sa isang firm. Ang gusto rin niya yun nga na makapag-create ng more jobs ang mga private institutions like yung mga firms and different businesses. And then lastly is the general public. The public may be interested in the responsibility of the firm to its immediate neighborhood and the care for the environment. So basically, ang pinaka-concern or pinaka-interest lang ng general public sa isang business firm, yung kanilang corporate social responsibility. Kung paano ba makakatulong itong firm na ito sa isang environment or sa isang society. Okay? Now, let's proceed with the 4 perspectives of a firm by Kaplan and Norton. So ano ba itong 4 perspectives na ito? And so first nga daw is the learning and growth perspective. To achieve the vision of the firm, how will it sustain the firm's ability to change and improve? Constant training of the workforce and the inculcation of organizational culture among managers and employees. So learning and growth perspective. So isa nga daw ito sa paraan. Okay? Paano nga ba magiging effective pa? Siyempre, kailangan may continuous learning and then continuous growth. Paano? By having different developmental trainings, yan, mga seminars for the employees of a particular firm or business. Okay? So, with that, nagkakaroon ng development or mas natututo pa yung ating mga members or employees or yung workforce. Yan. So with that, mas nag-grow sila as the member of the organization or as an employee of a particular firm. And then at the same time, na-apply din nila yung mga natututunan nila sa kanilang trabaho. Next naman is the business process perspective. So identification of business activities that the company can excel in and can be considered as best practices that can satisfy shareholders and customers. So dito naman sa business process perspective, ayan, by looking at other perspective or sa ibang ano pa kaya ang pwedeng pagkakitaan ng business, ayan, saan pa kaya sila pwedeng mag-venture out, saan pa kaya sila pwedeng mag-start, ano pa kaya pwede nilang i-provide, okay, na pwedeng pagkakitaan ng isang firm. So, with that, masasatisfy nila ang shareholders nung firm or noong business. And at the same time, masasatisfy din nila ang customer kasi nga nagpo-provide sila ng another needs ng customers. And the next is customer perspective. To achieve the company vision, how should the company appear to its customers? Is there a focus on the customer in the vision and mission of the firm? Are the customers satisfied with the products and services produced by the company? Has the company developed brand loyalty among the customers on the product and services of the firm? So basically, kailangan na in short, when we say dito sa customer perspective, ang kailangan lang customer-oriented tayo. Tinitingnan natin kung ano ba ang nagiging image natin or nagiging dating nung isang particular firm or ng isang business sa ating mga customers. Okay? Nakaka-create kaya tayo ng loyalty among our customers? Okay? Ano nga ba ang tingin ng customers sa ating business or sa ating firm? Na-achieve ba natin yung gusto nating maging mission and vision, okay, ng business? Yan, by servicing your customers. So yun po yung tinatawag natin na customer perspective. And lastly, we have this financial perspective. So to succeed financially, how should the company appear to its shareholders? Timely, accurate, and understandable financial data is not only crucial to managers in making strategic decisions, but also in assuring the shareholders on the financial health of the company. So, hindi lang nga daw yung financial data ang pinaka-importante dyan. Siyempre, yung financial health din ng company. So, when we say financial health, yan, kasama na rin dyan yung stability ng isang business. Okay? So, yan po. And that ends our module number 11.